Peace.
Hey.
What's up, y'all? It's Ariam.
And Yodi.
And you're tuned in to deuxsol Radio.
That's right. Your favorite twins are back talking all things music and culture.
Because 2 takes are better than 1, but twin takes are even better. And we're back with another episode. First of all, this is our first episode of the year, so Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year. And I think we can still say this is the first we're reconnecting in the new year.
So for us, we're allowed.
But we're allowed to say that. We're giving ourselves permission to wish you all a Happy New Year.
Yeah. What have we been up to, really?
We've been up to a lot of things. I feel like, done dry January.
Yes.
We are
definitely doing that.
Hanging out with folks that we love, celebrating certain birthdays.
Yeah.
Goal planning.
Did we technically see Wicked this month or
we did see it this month
in January? Okay, so we watched.
We technically
Wicked.
finally watched Wicked. I know we're late, but we finally did that.
So for context, we have never seen the Broadway version of Wicked, but everyone and their mother knows about Wicked.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't escape it. The clips, the songs,
and
everything.
The music is just so iconic. Like, you don't even have to watch the show to know the music.
Yeah. But we finally watched the movie. Y'all. Yodi and I get it now. We
get the hype.
We get the hype. Get it.
Yeah.
I left that theater completely in awe of the talent, the story, the music. It was just so much better than I thought it was gonna be.
The expectation was already high, but I didn't expect myself to have that emotional response. Like, I was sobbing at the end of the movie. Like, I looked to my left and I was like, Ariam, you good? And like, I just see her eyes and they're just like,
they're literally like, I had like crocodile tears the whole time. I was like, do not let this musical get you, but it got me.
No, I was crying. I didn't realize I was gonna have that type of response. We all know the themes behind the movie and like what they speak to, but there was something about the way Cynthia just owned Elphaba and the layers of her character and being a Black woman playing that character, and then the themes around rejection, society,
being ostracized,
and being considered an outcast, and like, all the things that people do to be accepted, and all the challenges, and then her voice.
Oh my goodness. Voice of an angel. That is a God-given gift.
Yeah.
Her voice, she can sing anything and your heart melts. Like, she has this milkiness in her voice, like
tone. Her tone is
the
insane.
tone, she has this specific type of effortlessness in her vocal range that like I just melt. Like, literally, like, I love hearing her sing.
She could
anything.
sing the phone book, and I just
Ariana did a really great job as Glinda.
I get the hype too.
I get it.
I get the hype too. This is a role that she was destined to play. When you like hear stories about certain actors that have had their dream role their whole entire lives, and then they finally get the opportunity to do it. She executed that so beautifully, and then some. Like, she literally was born to play her.
The general public knows her as a pop artist, but the reality is she grew up on musical theater. She's always, if you see her in majority of her interviews, she somehow, some way mentions Wicked. She mentions meeting Kristen Chenoweth, her relationship and her bond, and
that's always been consistent.
It's always been there. So she showed the world that she deserved it. She was meant to play this version of Glinda. The movie has so much press, and on TikTok you see like a bunch of clips, and like, I'm a person where like I hate spoilers. If you know something, don't say something. That's how Yodi and I are. And so I hadn't seen the movie yet, and I knew I eventually would see it, but every time I would see like a clip from the film, I would like swipe up and be like, no, not yet. And it's interesting because now that I've seen it, I'm like, okay, bring it on. Like, I can see
deep into Wicked talk, like, so deep. And
the For You page is crazy.
The algorithm is like, it's BTS, it's footage stolen from the movie, it's people doing breakdowns. It's just so interesting, and
it's like a wormhole. Like,
I'm in it. I get it. Like, they need their flowers. They deserve their flowers. They deserve all the awards in my mind.
Speaking of TikTok, obviously, we have to talk about the banning and unbanning of TikTok that happened last weekend.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from the whiplash. Like that was crazy.
That was so dramatic.
Like the build up to the ban was so emotionally crazy. People on social were going crazy, like talking about, well, if this is the last of it, like let's just post the craziest content ever. Let's just go all the way in.
I mean, people were performing TikTok funerals. Like,
yeah, like
there were creators that were like dressed in like all black, and like some
yeah.
creators that were at their repast, and it was just
Yeah, no.
so much. But the process of this ban was just like an interesting experience. We learned that there was a possibility of a ban. Then they never revisited it. Then they said, yes, the TikTok app is banned in the US for US users,
Mhm.
and it will be banned starting January 19th. And I'm like, okay, I will be fine. And what was a little bit confusing was like there were so many news outlets that were reassuring current users you can still use the app if you have the app downloaded on your phone.
You just can't.
You just can't download the app if you don't already have it, and you
Mm.
can't update the app.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. I'll still get my fixes here and there, and it'll be fine. I honestly was not stressed.
I honestly was stressed. As someone that loves and adores our girl TikTok, like honestly, I'm not a TikToker. I am a TikTok consumer. Like I appreciate all the things about TikTok because I speak in TikTok audio. Like if you know me, I'm gonna reference the TikTok audio like mid conversation,
yes,
and it's just like, well,
and I know it.
I
I
was
know
like,
all the
right, and I was
references.
like, exactly. Like, and if I'm talking to someone that gets it, it's like there's a bond there, there's a connection there, there's a layer
Yeah.
there. What are we gonna do without all that?
But see,
So I
but
was stressed. I was
think-
stressed before.
I think the
whiplash,
misleading
but-
reassurance was that the app will still be able to be accessed. That was the whole
Yeah, but it was still like, what does that
misunderstanding.
really at the time? We didn't really know what that meant. Like,
But-
yes, we knew we could still technically have the app, but like after a while, you know, the app is gonna have to update. And you know, every time you have an app, regardless of what platform it is, your phone either auto updates or you're going to be encouraged to update. So
Right.
we would have hit a wall at some point.
But Yodi, I say this to say I didn't have an initial stress when I heard this was actually happening. But then when January 19th came around and that prompt that popped up, and TikTok users all around the US know when they said TikTok is not accessible in the US, I had a little like stress sweat.
Yeah.
I was like,
it felt too real. You're like, wait.
And I'm like, no. I like got out the app, reopened it. Same thing. I'm like,
and then you
I
started.
was like, you know what? I just need to go to bed. I told myself I need to just go to sleep. It's too early. I can't process this right now. So I go back to bed, and then I wake back up. Same thing. And our group chat, like our close friends and sisters, were blowing up. TikTok is gone. They didn't waste a second.
Yeah. I just didn't realize how fast it was going to happen.
I mean, immediately.
Yeah. And then I went on Instagram because a lot of people were migrating over to Instagram and people were sharing it on their stories and talking about how they got the notification and things like that. So we're like, oh, damn, like this is actually legitimate. Like it's happening.
And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually banned. And like, I have no access to it. And everybody that has both TikTok and Instagram, but prefer TikTok more, was back on Instagram with a tail between their legs talking about, hey, how y'all doing?
You see what I'm saying?
If you know, you know. I was definitely not having fun on Instagram. I was like, what is this place?
It was so humbling to have people migrate over, especially like TikTok creators that are like known for their TikTok presence and their platform and like the brand that they've built on that platform.
Yeah.
Humbly having to like be like, okay guys, if you're looking for me, you know, I'll be like,
you know where to find me.
You know where to find me. And so like that was like a lot to process.
And then I started to really panic because I was like, wait, I don't really use TikTok. I mean, we do post on TikTok and we share our content on there as well, but I really utilize TikTok for things outside of creating content, like finding out if a new restaurant is good and checking out reviews from actual people that have gone. Fashion trends and updates.
It was a proper search engine tool. Like
I use that way more than Google.
Google, yeah, exactly. And it's like to your point, like there's so many things that we used it for. learning about fashion trends. You can shop on TikTok. You can
I had a TikTok cart on TikTok Shop that I never actually pressed sent, and I thought about that. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm never gonna get those items." Like all of these, all of these thoughts were like rushing through my mind.
No, TikTok was like
And
you know, a
then
full service situation, and so we were thinking about all those things. Obviously, you know, hours later,
she came back.
she came back because she loves the drama. You know, like TikTok loves the drama. She's dramatic, and she gave us a quick return. And
I mean, it was hours. Not
it
even
wasn't even a full
not even a
24.
full 24 pass. Why do they do that?
Yeah.
Why? Like
Yeah.
that's messy.
Messy.
Like I went through all the like stages of grief, and now you're back.
But I am not complaining, and it was so.
I'm so happy you're
I'm
back.
grateful she's back. And I think one of the funny things was, and one of the last things I'll say about this, when the U.S. was off of it for the how many hours it was, all the international content that we were seeing of people saying, "Bring the Americans back."
Yes,
like, it's not entertaining like it was. Like, and I realized, wow, we really were like the fun.
Immediately when it came back, the Americans are back. The Americans are back.
Yeah. No, when we came back, they were all very happy about it.
Like TikTok knew, like,
yeah. But you know what? I'm happy she's back. And yeah,
I just hope that it continues to like nothing changes.
Yeah.
That the algorithm stays as unique as it has been.
And yeah, and the cool thing about TikTok that I'm so grateful that it's back for is the fact that we really use that for music discovery.
Yes.
It's always like a good platform to kind of learn about new music, new trends and stuff like that. And I was thinking, of course we can find music anyway, but it was just very convenient that we can be on the same platform and still find out like what's trending or find out about new up and coming artists. But speaking of music, there's some music related news we need to talk about. Grammy Award winning producer and songwriter Roddy Jerkins, aka Darkchild, will be inducted in the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Woo! Well
done.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Beyond deserved.
And we love this as fans of Darkchild because we grew up on all things Darkchild. There isn't one song that he hasn't touched. There isn't one genre he hasn't touched. And his impact, particularly starting from the 90s going on to modern day music, has been consistent. He's delivered hit after hit, and he really knows how to write and produce for R&B artists and beyond.
There's no limits with the type of music that he's produced. And honestly, when I think about Darkchild, it's really nostalgic for us. All the music that we really grew up on that left an imprint in our minds and our love for discovering pop and R&B music is because of him. Like I think about Say My Name. I think about The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica. I think about so many songs that remind me of childhood and just pure joy.
He just knew how to make music for all different voices, you know, like He Wasn't Man Enough for Me by Toni Braxton. You Rock My World by Michael Jackson. Even when you think about Whitney's Not Right, But It's Okay. So I remember when she came out with that song, or like when I first heard that song before it was popular on TikTok. Again, his influence transcends generations.
Yes.
But you know, I remember being like, yes, like Whitney is eating. Like first of all, she was giving us looks in the video. Which we can have a whole deep dive about.
The asymmetrical
bob. The choker, the leather choker, and like the whole look. But the song itself was like, it just showed that even Whitney could not be contained vocally. She's obviously going to sing and she's going to sing down and blow down. But that was considered, even for her, a more contemporary approach to R&B. And people didn't think she could pull that off. But Roddy Jerkins did. He knew that she could.
And what I love about what he's been able to do with artists is give them more edge. I feel like when an artist finally had worked with him, like let's say like the Spice Girls, for instance.
Yeah. Can we talk about that?
Because the Spice Girls had a pop global impact, right? Their sound was cemented in pop culture. But when he came to the studio and hooked them up with Holler. I mean, to me, that gave them so much edge. I was like, I love the sound. He knows their voices, what works for them. And it still has that Darkchild signature flair.
Yeah, it had the flavor. Like, I remember when I first saw the video, I was like, okay, girls. Like, he really just knew how, like you said, Ari.
That was hot to me. Like, that song was hot.
That was that was on repeat.
Gonna make it holla.
Like, I was like, okay, Spice Girls got the spice.
Can't play my game.
Like,
It was the choreo, everything.
Yeah, no. That was, again, like, he could work with any type of artist, which is really dope to see. Mary J. Blige, even Telephone.
I didn't find out about that until, sadly,
Like-
very recently.
Okay, like, when we talk about Telephone, that was one of the most iconic pop collaborations, like, in history. Like, point blank, I will stand 10 toes down on that.
Especially that era where
Yes.
Beyonce was so far beyond in her solo career, success-wise. And then there comes Lady Gaga, who is dominating pop in the 2010s. Having them together
It was crazy work.
I remember when that video dropped. I mean, it was like a movie.
It was a premiere. It was a moment.
It was a moment.
It was a moment.
And for me to just now realize that he had hands in that, it makes sense.
Yeah, like, this man is always cooking. He can definitely fall into different categories.
And that says a lot about him because that shows how collaborative he can be with artists, right? It's one thing to have like a style, but to be able to say, this is what I can offer you, while also recognizing like your sound, your style, your vocals, your voice.
Yeah.
That shows that like he has the true skill set to be a producer, a producer and a songwriter. And I'm just glad he's getting recognition. Like, I mean, he's touched every genre. I mean, Kirk Franklin's Revolution.
Yeah. How can I forget? He grew up in the church, like, his family's in the church. So it's like, even seeing like that moment, like the marriage of those two worlds in a song like that.
Because technically it's gospel music, but it has hip hop influences. And it's like,
and it's Kirk Franklin. Like, it's just, you could play that song out in the club, so you could be praising in the club. So, you know, like, he just, it was just a vibe. Woo, woo. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the video was fire.
They had the outfits, the lighting, like
they were
everything.
In their bag. His impact is insane. He's worked with literally everyone.
He has such longevity in his career. He's worked with Sam Smith. He's worked with SZA on Shirt. This shows how talented he is, and I'm so glad that he's getting honored in this way. He's so deserving.
Totally deserving.
Congrats to you, Rodney.
Congratulations. It's interesting that you mentioned SZA because we got to talk about
SZA-related news. A big one.
We got some big news. So we all know something special is happening
Kendrick
on
Lamar.
February 9th, which is a Super Bowl. And what makes it so special is that Kendrick Lamar is headlining.
And he just posted on Instagram that SZA will be joining him on the Super Bowl. So,
which is crazy.
Got another concert to look forward to.
I know. They know what the people want.
I mean, it's a great pick. Obviously, they have a great musical marriage. They have so many collaborations. It makes you wonder, because they have so many songs, are they going to perform multiple songs, or is he just going to perform one song? Because he only will probably have 12, maybe 13 minutes.
Yeah.
How will this lineup look like?
It's hard, right? Because you said like 13 minutes. Like, what can you do with that time?
Right. You only have like maximum 13 minutes.
Yeah. So I love that SZA is going to be part of it because, like you said, like their collaborations are a huge part of his discography. Like, also just a great way to promote the Grand National Tour.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like a nice way for him and SZA to give the people what they want, but also give them a little taste of what they can see on tour. I can't imagine she would be the only guest. There can be so many people that just pop up on stage.
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna bring some other TDE folks? Like, could Doechii make an appearance?
Could Schoolboy Q make an appearance?
Yeah. Absol. Like, who knows?
He might really take advantage of this platform because this is his stage for that halftime show. He can really do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I think most likely they'll be performing one of the more recent songs like Luther or 30 for 30. I mean, I expect that, but I can't wait to see what they do up there. I'm still looking forward to more surprises and good music.
It's going to be a good halftime show.
Yeah, for sure. And that wraps up today's episode. If you guys like what you heard, you can keep up with us on our socials at DEUXSOL. That's at deuxsol. You can watch us on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. If you can hear it, we'll be on it. And till next time, guys, peace.